All right, that'll be $125 due to inflation.
What?
How much are your Girl Scout cookies? $5 each. We'll do those then.
There. Thank y'all very
Thank
much.
you. We need eggs. Ew.
Is that how much they cost?
Get a full gallon.
We really need to get like cows and chickens. Are you serious?
I've always told you I wanted to live on a farm.
Yeah, well, you're gonna. $8 for styrofoam that I'm just gonna throw away.
Yep.
We washing these.
What are you doing, Dale?
I'm Googling
Googling what?
if I can wash styrofoam plates.
What?
Are they normally that much?
Yes, they are.
Must be a price to be healthy.
There was a time when these were $18.
And you were buying them? How come the world wants you to eat healthier, but they charge out the yin yang for healthy food? I'm just gonna be all fat and sassy. Even the ramen has went up. Back in the day, you get a good pack of ramen for $1. But we're gonna have to go to this. You're gonna have to breastfeed our child till he's 18. Shelby. It needs all the help it can get. Family size?
No, we get the little one. Cheaper.
Oh, yeah. What was I thinking? When I die, don't look for me in the sunsets. Is that how much it usually is?
What are they selling?
Like, I'm doing the math in my head and I just don't see how this is possible. God is working miracles through our bank account right now for us to be able to eat. That's the only explanation.
It's ridiculous.
We're never going to financially recover from this.
We've been sold the lie that inflation is up because prices have to go up because the supply chain costs have gone up since COVID. In reality, companies have been experiencing record profits since the 1950s. The reason for this is because under capitalism, you've got two options to generate profit. Either cut costs, so typically cut labor costs, which is our wages, or by increasing the price, but you can't.
Recession. Here's the simple definition. It's when the economy turns down, usually suddenly, over a very few number of weeks and maybe a few months. Large numbers of people are either unemployed or forced to take part-time work or finding their jobs in danger. Small businesses go out of business. Medium and large businesses find their activities shrinking. They can't produce as much. They can't sell as much. Because of all of that, the tax revenues received by local communities and by the country as a whole start shrinking, which means that the government is pinched and can't do what it normally would like to do and is asked to do by the people. In other words, It's an economic downturn. In fact, the word recession has lots of synonyms: downturn, bust, crash, crisis, depression. I could go on. Why is it that we have so many words? Why is it that I'm talking about recession? Well, recession is part of the capitalist economic system. It's as old as capitalism itself. The other side of recession in an economic system called capitalism is inflation. Then suddenly it's a kind of crazy time. We're in that now too, in the sense that prices are going up, so businesses are eager to hire people and invest and produce, because whatever the price they can charge now that's profitable, that's going to be higher 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years from now, making their profits even bigger. So inflation is a kind of overspeeding of the economy, the flip side of which is a recession. And here's the worst thing about capitalism's instability: it lurches from one to the other. Indeed, we are right now, as I'm talking with you, coming to the end of a good year or so of inflation and finding ourselves plunging into a recession. That's very common. The recessions provoke inflations, the inflations provoke recessions. This is an unstable economy. Indeed, by the way, you will sometimes see, and that's happened more and more in recent years, simultaneously recession and inflation. And we have a word for that now called stagflation. It's the mixture of the word stagnation, economy going nowhere, plus prices going nuts. That's pretty much what we have now. The way to summarize this is to say that capitalism is an extraordinarily unstable system. Capitalists are afraid because one of the items I haven't mentioned until this moment that follows from recession is that more and more people question the system. What kind of a system is that presents us with this lurching back and forth, inflation, recession, recession, inflation? What kind of a system is this? Maybe the solution isn't to go fix this and that one and this little detail and that, but maybe to change the system to get one that isn't so unstable in the first place. And that really frightens the people who like capitalism, who sit at the top, the 1%, the rich folks, the powerful folks, the ones who are never unemployed.
Somebody explain this. What?
$1 million 1993 today is now $2,070,000. Inflation in 5 years will probably devalue half of everyone's money listening to this in their 401ks, IRAs, and their soft saving accounts. Like right now, the world is a wreck, and their only solution to the devaluation is they're gonna have to work harder. Over the last 20 years, 2002 to 2022, salaries have increased 27%, but the cost of a home has gone up 148%. In other words, like our cost of living and lifestyles is not keeping up. Average person drives a $60,000 a year car that has a $50,000 a year salary with over $100,000 of student debt, 60% of America living check to check. We have a problem. And being busy is not the solution, and getting another job is not the solution. You have to graduate and develop more of the Gen Z millennial mind that says there's got to be a smarter way. It can't be the immigrant way of just work harder, because there is something to say for hard work. But if it's not smart enough hard work, then it's stupid work. It's dumb work. And there's a lot of financial idiots out there that have just not gotten themselves educated.
There are people in Australia right now who will literally have to work 2 hours to be able to afford a pack of 8 razors. And this isn't just because the cost of everything is going up. This is pure corporate greed from the Woolworths Coles monopoly, because you can buy the same pack of razors online from the shaver shop for $10.
What the Is inflation? We keep hearing about it, but what actually is it? Imagine a village that has one market where people buy all of their stuff, their food, their clothes, but one day the government shows up because they're worried about the economy of this village. So they tell the people that if they want to take out a loan, they're going to make sure that the banks will not charge them a high interest rate. They want to encourage the people to take out loans and spend money. Oh, and they also drop off a giant pile of cash for everyone in the village. And everyone in the village is like, sweet, I'm feeling pretty rich. Villagers now are going to their market and they're buying way more stuff. Many of them have been eyeing the fancy electric bike in the market that before they couldn't justify, but now they totally can because they have all this new money. The store owner's like, sweet, this is great for business, but he's running out of bikes. In fact, he's running out of everything because now all of these people have extra money and they're buying way more than they used to. The store owner's like, I can't keep up with all this demand. I should raise prices. And that is inflation.
This is for the parents of older kids, like 8-year-olds plus, and I mean this in the sincerest way. Are you guys okay? Yes, this is another supermarket rant, because the supermarket has become my most despised place on earth. It surpasses play centres and the gyno, and that is absolutely saying something. I just dropped into Coles to grab a few things, and I'm trying this new thing where I'm spending intentionally and I'm thinking about where every single one of my dollar is going. And for me, I prefer to support the local grocer than to support the big food chains. Mexican tonight, so think like black beans and diced tomatoes and corn out of a tin, like things that are meant to not cost a lot of money. And I walked out of there spending $82 and I came out of there with one meal. I have little babies. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And between the 4 of us, those two, my 3-year-old doesn't eat. She eats oxygen. So like to combine, they're probably the equivalent of 1 child and 2 adults. Like how are you feeding these pre-teens and teenagers who are like garbage disposals, who just eat everything? I know that's what I did when I was a kid. Like at this, I'm sitting in my car. That's how furious I am. And at this point, I just feel like they're just taking the piss.